The Story of Sugarcane, a Caribbean version of the Rapunzel story by Patricia Stories. Once upon a time, in the Caribbean islands, there lived a young fisherman and his wife. One day they were out having an afternoon swim, and the wife said, "Guess what, honey? I'm pregnant." The man, overjoyed, said, "Baby, baby, baby, I'm so happy we're going to have that perfect family that we always wanted." So a couple of days passed, and the wife said, "I have this craving for something sweet. Baby, give me something sweet to eat." So he went out and brought her some coconut milk and some coconut plant to eat. She said, "That is sweet, baby, but it's not sweet enough. I want something really sweet." So he brought her some more fruit. And the fruit was just so sweet and so succulent, but it wasn't enough to cure her craving. She said, "Honey, I need some sugar cane." And he talked back to his wife, and he said, "Sugar cane doesn't grow around here. It grows only in the depths of our island, so I'll have to take the whole day's journey off from fishing and go get you some sugar cane." "Baby, this baby will not let me get any rest until I get some sugar cane." So he said, "Baby, I'll go first thing in the morning." So she packed him a lunch and set him out on his way. So as he walked up the coast to the path where the town lied, a couple of miles in, he got a little bit tired. So he sat down and took a nap against a tree. After he woke up from his nap, he saw a path that wasn't there when he went to sleep. So he decided to follow the path through the woods a little bit. Now, when he got down that path, he saw a beautiful garden, and in this garden, every plant on that island grew there. So he saw all these different kinds of plants. Maybe she had some sugarcane, or maybe the owner had some sugarcane in their yard. So he went up to the house and knocked on the door. No answer. He knocked again. "Hello, hello, is anyone home?" No one answered. So he looked around in the garden a little bit further, and he saw a patch of sugarcane growing. He said, "Surely no one will miss 2 or 3 stalks of this sugarcane." So he chopped it down, looked around, and went back on his way to his wife. When he got home, the wife was overjoyed that he actually brought her some sugarcane, and it made her feel so good. Then, the next day, after all the sugarcane was gone, you guessed it, she wanted some more. So the man did the same exact thing, walked the same path, took a nap at the same tree, and what do you know? That same path to that old garden showed up. So he went to the garden again, just as normal, knocked on the door once. "Hello? Is anyone home?" Knocked twice. No one answered. So he said, "Surely I must quench my wife's thirst and hunger for this sugar cane." So he went over and got 3 more stalks. And as he began to cut the last stalk down, he heard a voice. "Who are you? What are you doing in my yard?" He turned around and he said, I'm just trying to give my wife some sugar cane. She has this aching. You know, when you're pregnant, sometimes you just have to have what you want to have." So he did what? He went and got the sugar cane for her. "You steal from me? Do you know who I am? I am the great Madam Fate. You see this plant right here? One taste of that plant and I can make you forget who you are, and you'll be my slave forever." Now, Madam Fate was this wicked sorceress who wore a mask over her face. So no one knew what she really looked like. So this man was terrified at the sight of her. She said, I'll let you go with your sugar cane, but know this. You took sugar cane from me, and I'll take sugar cane from you. So he hurried home after she let her go, and gave his wife the sugar cane. He didn't even tell her about the run-in with Madame Fate. He even forgot almost himself. So they grew, the wife grew, and it was about a year later, and guess what happened? The sugar cane was born, and it was almost her first birthday. So the father decided to take his family to an old borrowed village hut into the island. She said, she asked the father, why are you taking us here for our daughter's birthday? Well, he said, because they got some good fish here, good fish, and I can sell it for a good price. So, Sugarcane, her mother and her father celebrated their birthday. They laughed and they played, and Sugarcane's mother gave her a necklace made of coral. So it was orange and a little bit red. It was beautiful. She made it herself. She put it around her neck. They partied and went to sleep. While they were asleep, a great storm came about. Lightning and thunder, and the wind was going back and forth. And they looked up, and over their bed stood a shadowy figure. It was Madame Fate. She came to make her promise true. She said, you took sugarcane from me, and now I will take sugarcane from you. So, Madame Fate whisked away sugarcane to the other side of the island, never to see her parents again. Now, Madame Fate was a sorceress, a wicked woman, but she was good at sugarcane. So she grew and grew to a nice young lady. Now, education was important to the sorceress. So she conjured up spirits as her teachers. So her music teacher was one of the great blues singers. And her art teacher was one of the greats that painted great things across the seas. But Sugarcane had that passion for music. She learned how to play all kinds of instruments and even make them. She even sang to herself. Now, Madame Fate didn't just take her to an old house and tell her to live there. She locked her in a tall tower so no one could get to her. Now, as Sugarcane grew and she played the instruments and sang the songs, her hair began to grow longer and longer and longer than before. When it got so long, Madame Fate stopped using the door. She would walk up to the tower and say, Sugarcane, Sugarcane, let down your hair so I can climb without a stair. And Sugarcane would throw her hair out the window and pull Madame Fate up. Madame Fate was a smart woman, but she was also a wise woman. She always had to go on all these famous trips across the land. And one time when she was away, Sugarcane began to sing. It was late one night. Sugarcane just began to sing. And she sang out to the ocean. Now, little did Sugarcane know that there was a young man in a boat. His name was King. Now, he got his name because he entered a musical contest a couple of years back and won. So everyone started calling him King. So he was out there doing his thing, practicing music and making up songs, and he heard the songs and the words that he was singing in his head to himself with his ears. So he heard the voice of Sugarcane over all those waves. He said, I've got to find out who this is. So he creeped up to the shore and he saw a shadowy figure coming up to this tower. He heard her say, Sugarcane, Sugarcane, let down your hair so that I may climb without a stair. And Sugarcane threw the hair down and pulled up the sorceress, Madame Fate. Madame Fate had a quick visit that night. So once he saw the figure moving away from the tower, he said, I must try this myself. So he walked up to the tower and said, Sugarcane, Sugarcane, let down your hair so that I may climb without a stair. Out came the hare, and up came King. Now when Sugar Cane saw this new figure, she was startled because she had never seen anyone else before. Matter of fact, her only friend was, guess what? A monkey named Callaloo, who loved sweets. So when King was at this window, she said, "Who are you? Are you from the moon?" He said, "No, I'm not from the moon. What gave you that idea? Who are you? Are you from the sea? I was at the sea and I heard you singing to me." Okay. He said, "No, I'm just a friend." So she invited King to come in, and they began to talk and develop a friendship. Now, they finally figured out that you like music and you like music and I like music, so let's make music. So they played and sang all night. They even began to make up their own songs. Now, this was not the first visit of King. King came back every night for about a month. Now, while they were singing and playing, Sugar Cane's mood began to change. So during the day when her teachers would come and teach her, they noticed that the mood had changed. They noticed that she was, first of all, sleepy during her classes, and they wanted to know why. And second of all, she wasn't this lonely person anymore. She was so excited that she found a new friend. Madam Fate found out this too. She noticed that she wasn't her normal self either. Okay? So she vowed to find out why. So one day on one of King and Sugar Cane's visits, Sugar Cane began to brush her hair while she sang. She noticed that some jewels and some rubies started falling out of her hair. You guessed it. King would slide little gifts in her hair, so that when she brushed it out and he wasn't there, she would think of him. So one day, Madam Fate decided to stay a little bit longer, and she bought Sugar Cane a new dress. She said, "Go over there and try that dress on, girl." She put the dress on, and Madam Fate began to braid Sugar Cane's hair. Now, Sugar Cane's hair was huge. It had locks, and every time she brushed it, every time she stroked it, some loose hair would fall out. So a lot of hair had collected in her brush. But Madam Fate brushed the head anyway. She kept brushing and braiding, brushing and braiding. And out on the floor rolled a ruby butterfly. Madam Fate said, "What is this? This is no gift of yours. I didn't give it to you, so who could have given it to you?" She picked up that ruby butterfly and threw it. And immediately, Sugar Cane said, "No, that's from King, my true love." It went out the window. She reached for it. Madam Fate reached for it. Guess what it did? It turned into a real live butterfly and flew away. Madam Fate, enraged, she grabbed Sugar Cane by the hair and said, "You stupid girl, who is this King?" She cut the hair off and threw it out the window. If you love this King so much, go to him now. Just then, Madam Fate turned and walked out the door, round and around the spiral staircase, all the way down to the bottom, and all Sugar Cane could hear was Madam Fate saying these spells and chanting these things, and doors slamming, 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 slamming. Now, Sugar Cane was a smart little girl. She decided to take all that hair that had collected in that brush and make herself a ladder. So she climbed down that tower that night to find her King. She called out to her one true friend, Callaloo, that monkey, and said, "Callaloo, Callaloo, come on. We have to get out of here." Callaloo didn't come. She called him again. "Callaloo, Callaloo, come on. We have to get out of here. She'll be back. I know she will." Just then, Callaloo came out of the tower, running down, but he had something in his hand. He had some jewels in his hand. He thought they were candy, but they were really jewels. She said, "Oh, Kalaloo, I don't know how this is going to help us, but I'm glad you came and I'm glad you brought something." So she went through those jewels and pulled out that coral necklace that Sugar Cane had always had with her, but she didn't know where she got it from. Now, it looked like it was big enough for a baby to have for a necklace, but it was quite small for her now. So she put it on her wrist and pretty bracelet and went on about her way. Also in her hand was a golden diamond-studded barrette that she had in her hair. So she put that in her hair. So they turned and they turned. They walked toward the ocean, hoping that they might find King. No luck. When all of a sudden there came a great storm, earthquake, wind and lightning, earthquake, wind and lightning. Who do you think that was? Madam Fate. Madam Fate came and said, "You love your king so much, go to him. I love to see you get there." And out of nowhere, this huge wave came and swallowed Kalaloo and Sugar Cane up. Sugar Cane knew definitely then that they were dead. They were dead and they were gone. So she took a breath and exhaled, and all of a sudden they were riding on top of the wave. They were riding on something hard. That barrette in her hair, that golden barrette studded with diamonds, turned into a nice boat for them to ride on. Now that wave took them on into the city, the capital of the city where they lived, in the island near a busy port. Now, Sugar Cane and Kalaloo had never seen another person other than King and Madam Fate, let alone a beautiful city. So she wandered through the city with her monkey. They saw some kids playing, and they laughed and laughed and giggled at the monkey. So Sugar Cane let the monkey go up there and play with the kids for a little bit. The kids gave them some breakfast, and out of the house came their mother. Their mother saw how well they interacted. Said, "Why don't you take care of my kids for me, and I'll give you a place to stay." So Sugar Cane, being the nice person she was, she did that. She also grew lonely, and she also wanted to find her king. So every day when she was done with her duties at the house, she would go out looking for her king. She couldn't find him. So she went back to that one thing that made her happy other than king, music. Now remember, she was taught by the best. So she knew how to make those instruments. She knew how to write songs. She knew how to sing songs. So she began to make a guitar out of a gourd. And guess what she made the strings with? Strings from her hair. So one afternoon, she went up to the top of the mountain where she could go think by herself, her and Kalaloo. The guitar's done. She just sat there and wished for her king to come to her. She looked up. She saw something fluttering in the sky. It just glistened and glimmered. Came down and it landed. It was a red, ruby red butterfly. It landed on the guitar that she had made. It began to step on the strings and some notes began to come out. That song sounds familiar. Those notes sound familiar. That's King's song. The one he and I wrote together. I wish King was here. I wish King was here. She looked over the horizon again. She saw a figure walking toward her. Who do you think it was? It can't be King. No. I've looked at him so long and still couldn't find him. It can't be my king. It was King. When they got back together, they sang their song and they were so happy. They were going to get married because they had found each other. Now, Sugar Cane and King were the talk of the town. So they had this huge wedding. All the neighboring towns and all the neighboring islands came to this wedding. Musicians came from all over to play at King and Sugar Cane's wedding. The wedding ceremony was over. They were at the reception. They danced and danced. And out through the crowd, there it was this old woman and this old man. They said, wait, wait. They made their way through the crowd. I know that. I know that bracelet that you wear on your arm. How do you know my bracelet, Sugarcane said. It was the one that I gave to my daughter when she was 1 year old. Yeah, that was Sugarcane's mom and their dad. So they all lived as one happy family on that beautiful coast. Sugarcane and King. I hope you enjoyed the story of Sugarcane. It was a spin-off the original Rapunzel version. It was a Caribbean version of it. And if no one has any questions, I'll bid you adieu.